Sleep was never restful after the fog came. David hadn't slept much at all. He'd sat up long after Melissa and their son drifted off, watching the static-filled porch cam over and over again. Rewinding, pausing, replaying. At 3:33 a.m., the tall shape had appeared, unmoving. Then it had turned to face the camera directly, its head shifting without the body moving. The recording flickered and ended, just static. He never told Melissa. Tuesday began in a haze. The fog outside hadn't changed. It still clung to everything like a living veil. The air felt damp, electric, like a storm was coming. But no wind moved the trees, no birds called, no insects buzzed. Their 6-year-old son sat on the carpet in his pajamas, building towers out of blocks, unfazed by the stillness around him. "Are we going to school today?" he asked. Neither parent answered. Melissa tried to make breakfast, but the eggs tasted off, not rotten, just flat. She stared at the skillet for a long time after she turned off the stove. The dogs were the first to act strange. When David cracked open the back door to let them out, both Maple, the black lab, and Gunner, the German shepherd, froze, tails down, ears back. A low, uneasy whine escaped Maple's throat. They hesitated, then bolted outside, did their business, and sprinted back inside like the ground behind them was on fire. Gunner slammed into the door with a panicked whine, scratching until David opened it. They both ran into the kitchen and hid under the table. They stayed there the rest of the morning. Melissa tried to walk next door to check on the neighbors. She barely made it halfway across the yard before she turned around, heart racing, breath short. The fog felt thicker the farther she went, like it was leaning into her skin. "I felt like I was being watched," she whispered later. The street signs had turned blank, just silhouettes, as if the letters had been wiped away. Inside, the clock on the microwave blinked erratically. 12:88, then 4:13, then blank. David turned on the emergency radio again. Static at first, then a sudden burst of distorted whispers. "They move between the cracks. Don't look too long. The ones outside used to be inside." He stared at the speaker until Melissa snapped it off. That night, Melissa brushed her teeth in the bathroom. Steam fogged the mirror. She wiped it away and froze. A long, pale hand had just slipped out of the hallway behind her in the reflection. She spun around. Nothing. Maple was behind her, growling low at the hallway. Tail down, ears back. She didn't sleep that night. David sat at the kitchen table with a notebook, writing down everything. The fog, the silence, the static, the things they'd heard. The boy wandered in and asked, "Why was someone smiling at me?" David stopped writing. "Where did you see them?" The boy pointed to the second-story window across the street. "It was dark yesterday, but now it's glowing." David looked out the window. Across the street, the abandoned house was still cloaked in fog. But now, just barely, the second-story window shimmered with a soft, unnatural glow. Melissa didn't want to see it. She closed all the curtains. Later that night, the dogs began barking, not whining, not growling. Full, sharp barks that shook the walls. David rushed to the front window. Nothing. He checked the porch camera feed again. At first, static. Then, the shape. Closer this time, pressed against the glass. The body was too thin, shoulders too narrow. The head didn't move, but the eyes, they were open this time, looking directly into the lens. Then the feed cut to static. David sat frozen. Down the hallway, the boy called softly, "Dad, is someone in the fog again?" David didn't answer. He didn't move. The fog was pressing in, and it was getting bolder.